rentals. And that's kind of what they're doing. There's a lot of rentals out there. The rental prices have definitely come down because more people are developing rentals. So what we're doing is we're going into listing presentations and we're talking to them, and they're worried that their house is at its height right now, that the most money they're going to get is right now. They're afraid that it's going to get less.
Do you think that's a fair way to think about it?
I think in the next few years. I don't think right away. We are in a massive underbuilding situation. There's not enough homes for the people that need it. So I think it depends on your location. Real estate, if I've learned anything in my many years in it, is super hyper local. So every market is different. I'm really speaking more tri-state area. But we say, all right, they're ready to go. They can't do the stairs anymore, or they kind of want to get out. They want to make their money somewhere else. So we're putting them into rentals while they figure out what the right lifestyle is. Are they going to right size? Do they want a different house? They want to go near their kids. Do they want to go somewhere warmer? Do they want to go somewhere where the tax rates are more favorable? So they need to kind of figure out their life, and a rental is the best option for them to do that. And they'll do 6-month rentals, a year rental, and they have a good idea after a year where they really want to go.
Talk to us more about the low inventory that you were alluding to, because that was an issue well before the pandemic, coming out of the great financial crisis, but obviously was exacerbated by the pandemic. What kind of regions have more issues when it comes to low inventory, or is it more broad-based around the country where it's a problem?
Yeah, so I don't think it's broad-based. I think there are some areas that inventory, I think in the tri-state area, our inventory is really, really tight. We sold 25% less as a county, and that's not because the demand was
Westchester
lower.
County.
Up in Westchester. And that's not because the demand was lower. It's really because there wasn't enough houses to go around. So there was bidding wars everywhere. The prices have definitely gone up, and they've maintained that. Prices that are homes that are priced right are going way above asking, hundreds of thousands over asking.
Still?
If they're overpriced, they're sitting. People do not overprice your house. Price it right, you will get a bidding war. It happens every time, but if it's overpriced, it sits. So it's still happening. Contingencies in our area are still being waived. People are very used to the no mortgage contingency anymore.
Really?
And appraisal contingencies are going away because now we have 2 years of strong data of home sales that are higher priced. In the beginning of the pandemic, it was harder. Homes weren't appraising because we didn't have any data. It was so much lower than it was 6 months ago. Now houses are really appraising, so people are willing to waive those contingencies. I'm telling my guys, get in now. When the rates start going down, there's going to be even more demand, and you can refinance as time goes on. A lot of the lenders are now offering one free refinance within the year that you lock into a rate. So if rates do go down a half a point, you can refinance without all the extra costs.
So is there a rate, when you sit around with your real estate buddies talking about the biz, is there a rate on the mortgage that you think will magically cause sellers to say, okay, now I'll put my house on the market if it's, I don't know if that rate, again, we're still north of 7% on the 30-year fix. Is that 6%? Is that 5%?
Right, like
there's
what's
some
the
clearing
catalyst?
Rate. Yeah,
right.
Absolutely. I think it's like 5.5.
Okay.
I think that's kind of the magic number. The 7-year ARMs are at 6% now, or even a little bit lower. You can get it if you can put money into a bank. They give you like a favorable discount. So there's a lot of lenders out there. There's a lot of people. It's a very competitive marketplace right now. You can definitely get a better rate than what you're hearing on like the national average, and it's very county based. So some counties have lower rates than others. But I think 5.5 is like the right number where you're going to see kind of the floodgates open up. But people still have to move. People are getting married. People's homes are, families are expanding. People have job changes. So there is still always going to be an influx and flow. But my advice would always be to get in before
Westchester
that.
County, it's such a great place to live. It always has been a great place to live in the metro New York area. Did you see a meaningful, during the pandemic, I'm just going down to Florida. I'm done. I'm done with Westchester. I'm done with Connecticut.
Yeah,
Did you see that?
absolutely. Anybody whose jobs who can take them, where they didn't have to be in the office, or they had more flexibility. People were going for a better quality of life, warmer weather, lower, taxes.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of people, everybody was going down to Florida. We've had a ton of people come back though. The real world has set in. New York is where it's at. Sorry.
That's what I was curious about. Is how have things shifted then from when
a lot of people
and
and a lot
the
of
peak of COVID to now?
Yeah, a lot of people have come back in our area, and a lot of people kind of made poor pandemic choices, and now they're kind of fixing that. So they're changing. They're not necessarily happy. They were going wherever they could get a house.